Rolling out with the future, electric dreams inside, justice, ray, and feel lighting up the mic. From the latest in tech to the roads we pave, debating all things EV, the power we crave. Justice, ray, and feel in the electric quest. Watch, like, and subscribe, be part of our guest. CarEdge Electric, where passions ignite. The show starts now. Embrace the EV life.
Wow. I can't get over that opening.
I can't either. I'm glad the piano went away.
Before we get started, can I ask one quick question before we introduce David?
Yeah.
Did Zach approve the expense of getting that done? I'm just curious.
Oh boy.
Of the intro?
Yes.
I guess he's going to have no choice, right?
Apparently.
He paid $0.00, and I did not ask permission for that. So I think he was good with it. Sorry, David, that I couldn't put you in the intro, but you are on the
That's okay.
thumbnail. So
That's okay. Hey,
you got that.
no big deal.
So welcome, everyone. Thank you. And thank you, David, for being here. David, introduce yourself to the audience who may not know you. Those who have not watched your episode on Auto Insiders with Ray Shefska.
Still live.
Yeah.
I'm retired from the auto industry, 37 years as fixed ops, parts manager, service manager, GM, and I ended up, unfortunately, having to retire due to my health issues. But I miss it. I really do.
Well,
The only guy to ever miss the auto industry we have on with us today.
I sure as hell don't.
Well, I don't miss getting yelled at. I miss the people.
Okay, that I could buy.
But let me recorrect that.
And so, David, you're on to talk to us about your recent road trip, right? That you did in your ID.4.
ID.4? One of my two ID.4s.
One of your two?
One of my two. We have two.
Nice.
One of them has 22,000 miles on a 23, so obviously it's used. And the one we took is mine. It has 800 miles on it.
Wow.
Not used much. Yeah.
Nice.
May I say, it almost sounds as if you only need one.
I get it, Ray, but when the doctor's an emergency,
Okay.
There you go.
Got it.
So, just tell us where did you go and what inspired you to take your trip?
Well, we have no choice, right? It's the only cars we have. We don't have ICE engines. We decided to take a trip to Key West. It's a scenic route. Actually, it was nice. When you get to past Key Largo, you can only go 55 to 60 miles an hour because they run radar all through the Keys.
Wow.
So it's a relaxing 4-hour trip from Coral Springs, believe it or not.
And how many miles is it?
252 miles.
And what is the advertised range of an
275. 275.
Oh, you could make it without stopping.
Correct.
Wow.
I didn't do that.
Okay.
Did you?
We drove from Coral Springs to Key Largo, which is 78 miles.
Okay.
I charged at an EA station, 6 dispensers in front of a Publix, which is rare because usually they're in Home Depot, Walmart, and Sam's Club.
Okay.
So not much to do in the Keys. So there was no one there, no issues. All were working. I peaked at 150 at 62% state of charge. Not bad. So I went ahead and charged back up to 100%. And then we had 201 to Key West. No issues. 74 temperature on the AC. Ventilated seats running. Got to Key West. charged in Key West. 6 dispensers in the back of a Bank of America. No one there, all working.
And you were fully loaded, right? Like this
Loaded.
wasn't just you by yourself in the car.
I had my husband in with me. I had my cousin in with me. I had 2 Wiener Dogs, luggage in the back to the till.
Now,
Wow.
any anxiety whatsoever? Were you feeling any anxiety? The minimal.
I have to admit, when we packed home, just a little. But listen, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen, right? I mean, let's face it. It's going to happen. So I guess you have to get out of your zone, is what we did. And I'll do it again.
If I hear you correctly, you had a little anxiety when you left Coral Springs.
Very little.
Okay. Having made it to Key West and spent time there, and you didn't have any real issues, I'm just guessing there was like zero anxiety going back home from Key West.
Zero.
All because of a good experience.
Yeah, but you have to plan too, because as I mentioned, I brought a little compressor with me. Mm-hmm. There's no spare tire, so I don't want to get stuck on the road with a flat tire. And as you know, those tires you can't patch; you have to replace. So,
are they run flats or?
Yes, they are. They are run flats.
Okay.
And they're EV. They're EV Kumos, believe it or not.
Okay.
So at least I want to have some security with a compressor in my hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had fun. It was great.
And did you charge to 100%? Anthony wants to know how long it took, but were you ever at 100%?
All the time.
Okay.
Just in case. In case.
Yeah.
Now, we got there Monday afternoon. I charged 100%, and I drove the whole 7 days. I think we ended up with 42% when we left a week later. I charged up again to come home.
How long did that take?
Almost 4 hours.
No, to charge up.
To charge. Yeah.
18 minutes.
That's
Okay.
it.
The ID.4 will charge
peaking at 150, right?
Correct. Which it will accept 175 at a good scenario. 0 to 80% in 32 minutes. I mean, can't get any better than that.
Wow.
You really can't.
Yeah. And so have you done other EVs? Have you driven other EVs? What led you to the ID.4?
One thing is I didn't want to be noticed out there. I don't know about where you guys are living in Florida. There's a lot of EV hate. They'll key your car.
Yeah.
They'll flatten your tires. I cannot understand. Yeah, I don't understand it. Well, what is the scenario behind that? But we want it to feel normal, I guess you can say. And an ID.4 basically looks like a internal combustion motor.
It does. It looks a lot like a Volkswagen.
Yeah. I mean, a regular car.
Yeah.
So, David, you didn't want a Cybertruck? You didn't want that kind of visibility or attraction?
Listen,
I mean, it's hard to key a Cybertruck. I'll say that.
All right, Joe.
Listen, I have OCD. Can you imagine me shining that stainless steel? I mean, really?
Go out there every night with some barkeeper's friend. And,
listen, I'm not against Tesla. I have driven them. I'm against the workmanship. The doors don't align right. That's the only reason why we don't drive. And I'm becoming an owner of a dealer, like I told Ray.
Yes.
I will be 50% of an Audi VW. It's a good, comfortable riding car. I can tell you that, honestly. Doesn't look like a science project. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah. Right.
And it doesn't break the bank. If you, I mean, right now, with no inequity, you can get an ID.4 Pro S River Drive for $389 a month. Sign and drive.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, sign and drive.
That's pretty
12,000
reasonable.
miles a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
another EV lease you can potentially look at after the Mini.
Uh,
It's a
He's
great
like,
car.
no.
oh, I have to wait for David to get the dealership. Okay, to
Yeah.
become the partner,
And
so I can make sure I'm getting the right deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I drove the Mini Electric. Great car. Not excited about the range. It just doesn't do it.
Well,
You know.
I don't know. Well, I do know. I'll probably never own an electric, not because I hate electric vehicles. Everybody just assumes that I hate electric vehicles. I don't hate electric vehicles. The reason I will never own one is if you're driving 1,500 miles a year, the cost difference between a ICE engine and an
Correct.
EV, I could never make up the savings. So it doesn't make sense for me. That, and I live in a condo that doesn't have any chargers. And there's very few of them in the Atlantic City area. As Justice and I found out when we looked one time.
Yeah, that's the big one, Ray, because
Yeah.
I don't have a charger at my complex.
Yes.
But I have chargers, everywhere around me.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I did look up. We went onto the map and I looked up in your area, Ray, and it was
It's terrible.
I have 100 more chargers within 5 miles of me than you have within 500 miles of you.
I mean, Justice, look at Florida. Florida's not fully developed yet. We have a problem down here. The infrastructure's not here yet.
Yeah, the infrastructure is barely anywhere.
I mean,
I got spoiled here in California, and I get all the time that, I do have people in Florida and in Texas. Texas is also, because it's so massive and there's so much space in between cities.
Right.
It's horrible with infrastructure. But I guess I expected more out of New Jersey just because they're small, for lack of a better term. They're teeny tiny little state. We're talking, Florida, Texas, California. Those are pretty big. Jersey's really small, and I figured, okay, well, why wouldn't you have a lot of little, infrastructure? Barely got anything. You got to go to a casino over there.
Correct. I mean, look what I spent on running. I'm running cables now, $14,000.
Wow.
And I will be the only one in our condo complex with a level 2 charger outside. And there's 6 other people at Tesla's here. Tesla's network is a little better. We get that.
Yeah. Well, but what, Nick, isn't Volkswagen's doing North American charging next year, right?
Yes. 26.
Yeah. 26?
26.
Adapter next year and then fully integrated in 26?
Correct. Right.
Because that helps. Like when everyone can use every charging station, it's going to help a lot.
I mean, why don't they just do magic docks on all of them? I mean, you really want to save some money.
Well, but that's an upfront cost to Tesla to do that, whereas everyone changing over to the other station is a wash, right?
Well, of course,
I understand why
it's a cost
Tesla
for
wouldn't want to do that because that's a huge cost for them to put that in all of their, when the cost can be split up among all the OEMs by just changing the charging port.
Well, they get it, right? The infrastructure's not going anywhere. So someone has to bend a little.
Can I answer Stuart's question?
Yeah.
I could ask the complex, but it's a condominium. So if anything we add, I'm paying for it. We're all paying for it. Every owner's paying for it.
I don't know the rules in your guys' states.
Yes.
In Florida, it was passed in the end of 22. If the condo owner pays for the full amount, no HOA in the state of Florida can deny you. It's mandatory law. I don't know what it is in other states.
Yes, but I wouldn't. I think there's 2 people here that have electric vehicles. One's a Mercedes and one's a Tesla, that live in my condo. Now, I will say this: it's a high-rise building. It has 101 units in it.
Wow.
About 25 are lived in all year long.
Right.
The rest, it's summer vacation home for people to come to the beach. I don't know that it would be fair to ask everyone to pay to have chargers installed, because that would be an extra expense that they would pass off to all of us, to do that for two people. It just
Do they rent out those condos during the rest of the year?
They can, but most of them do not. Most people do not. So we have very few renters here. Whatever renters we do have typically are summer rentals.
Yeah.
Where the owner of the unit can overcharge people for the 3 months that anybody wants to come here. So
Yeah, I was just thinking, so if they had chargers, though, you could attract that crowd for the summer rentals.
Well, here, I brought that up. We have 574 units here.
wow.
17 buildings. 17 buildings. It is a 55 and older.
Yeah.
Not one charger in here. They don't want nothing to do with it. These people have no idea what's coming down the road. No idea.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Well,
Yep, I've been trying to convince my landlord to get more. He put one in, and I'm trying to get him to get more. Wow, because our power company here will pay for it.
right.
They'll reimburse you for it. And I said, don't you want to get reimbursed now instead of waiting for 3 years when all those
Right.
programs expire and everyone has EVs and now you have to pay to install it? Wouldn't it
Well,
make more
Florida-
sense to get it done
Yeah.
now?
Of course. Florida Power and Light has a program here. If you have a home and you have a garage, they will pay for the permits, the equipment, but you have to sign a 10-year contract with them.
wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. So is it worth it? No.
Yeah, not on a 10-year contract. That's
No. For equipment that costs maybe $1,000, $2,000 and the labor. No. That's
So-
not going to fly.
So let me ask you a question. Would you consider a longer road trip in the future?
I'm going to come up and see you guys. I'm going to come and see Justice, actually.
Wow.
That's a trip. That's
Yeah.
going
that's a
from-
real trip.
Yeah.
That is going to be some hoteling, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
hoteling. David, you're gonna have to plan that. Like, you're really gonna have to put some effort into.
Well,
and
My guess, David, is that you will be looking for hotels that have charging stations on it, right? So you can charge overnight. That's what I do right now.
I mean, there's 6-hour chargers. I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I'd rather DC it and just.
Does
Move on.
AAA, you know how AAA does triptychs for people? Do they
Right.
do specific ones for people who have EVs?
Not sure.
I mean, if they don't, they should. I mean, that would be a great feature.
Right,
you know,
I used to love the triptychs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Whenever the family and I went on road trips, we're like, we're gonna go to AAA. We're gonna get the triptychs.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
means that we were going
Yeah.
on a trip, and me as a kid would look at the map, be like, yeah, I know where we're at.
Yeah.
But everything's
Oh,
all digital
abs-
now.
Yes. But that would be
But-
great if they could do all the work for you
Yeah.
as
Right.
to, where the charging stations would be and just make it easier.
Well, I mean, you have to download Plug Share. I mean, there is apps that will plan your trip.
Uh-huh.
Now, in 24 ID.4s that are out now, route planning is in the software, all new software.
Gotcha.
So
And
you
there's
have to.
a
You
better
can't
route
ju-
planner that does it. That's
Yeah.
the most popular app that will do that.
Correct. 23 doesn't have route planning at all on ID.4. You have to download an app. On the 24s, in the car has route planning. So
Wow.
it's pretty. But I mean, let's face it. You can't get in an EV and just go. You have to plan your trip.
True.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's hard. You can't just pull off the freeway at the next stop and know that there's going to be a charger there. You got to know
no,
where that is.
and people need to understand it. It goes by the way you drive the vehicle. Just because the EPA states 275 doesn't mean you're going to get it. So, I mean, my guesstimator stated 305 when we left here. It's crazy, and I almost got 305.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
well,
I'm in the
that's
worst
because
car
of
for that. I'm in the worst. Well, I'll tell you, my
it
Tesla
also.
does not get EPA range anywhere.
But you got preconditioning, right?
Yep, I got preconditioned. Look, I can get a lot of miles out of it, but I will tell you that the EPA range is the least accurate that I've seen. Hyundai is almost dead on, from what I'm learning, is almost dead on accurate. Though actually, I think my buddy's getting more than the rated range on it.
I can tell you, we're dead on in our ID.4s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, listen, in the summer in Florida, it's 100 degrees here. There will be times we'll go out there and the car's running by itself. I mean, it has to cool the batteries.
Yes.
So, I mean, in my other home in Hollywood, I have a neighbor come and tell me, "Oh, your car's running." It's supposed to do that. It will cycle on to cool the batteries by itself. I mean, that's just, any car does that. Any EV will do that. It's just, it was kind of scared. I said, "Oh, what's going on?" It will do that.
So if I hear you correctly, if you live in Phoenix, your car's running 24 hours a day for like 4 months straight.
Oh man, Ray, last summer
you better
especially.
You better get a generator behind you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad.
I had
Phil,
no
what about
idea.
you?
What about me?
Phil will
I
get
mean,
a
you're
DV someday.
I mean, you're in Michigan, right?
I am.
Hey,
Detroit area.
My mom is from Southfield. Okay.
Okay.
So I know Michigan very well. I know
Awesome.
Fago. I know Nathan's hot dogs. I know
Verner's.
Sanders chocolates.
Sanders is right down the road from me.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you, what about you?
It's going to be a little while, David. It's going to be.
Why?
It's not that I'm against an EV. I've driven them. I do like the instant power. I mean, I am a fan of that. First of all, gas stations at every corner. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about it, right? So there's a sense of security with that. Not to say that it totally takes away from being able to think about getting an EV.
Right.
I like the soul of a car. I like a muscle car. I know maybe I'm just a traditionalist, with what a vehicle is all about, and the fact of having an engine and the noise that's around it, and again, look, you can say I'm old school. People can say I'm old school. People can say I'm the old guy, whatever. I'm only 46, but look, at the end of the day, I just, I like what I like right now, and I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready for it. When they start to get, more, not, I don't want to call it traditional, but more mainstream, and they start really designing these cars. I don't like as hard edged as like a Cybertruck, but I do like some character to a car. I talk about soul, but I also talk about character and how the car looks and how it feels when it drives, and that sporty nature and that thrill and that engagement to actually drive. Like I have a Camaro, right? And it's got a manual stick shift, and I love driving that. I am so engaged when driving the car. It is so fun. And I'll miss that when it's gone. I will.
Well, I mean, you can get a new Charger that's coming out. Everything is right there for you.
No, thank you. and then have that. I don't know. Look, and then have that farting sound coming out the back of it. I don't know.
I think you also like the sound of your cars. I mean, the legitimate sound that the engine makes, the not piped in sound.
Yeah, no,
Phil's not ready. Phil is not ready. Period.
I mean, David, if I was so inclined, I probably would, if I found the right EV. I might have an EV in my garage with an ICE car, but I have to have both. I can't. I won't. I'm not ready to just say pull the plug on all the ICE and just go right over to the EV platform.
I get it. We're on our 8th ID.4s from down to 21. We had a first editions. I mean, I'm not going back. It's it. It's done. We're there. Ioniq 5. I can't spend $78,000 on a Hyundai. I'm sorry.
No.
Beautiful car.
I do want to say
Genesis is proving that people are buying a $70,000-$80,000 Hyundai, which is,
let me tell you,
amazing that they're doing it.
Listen, the GV60s are all over the lots here. The 70s, they're not selling. I mean, no EVs selling right now. No, none of them. But $78,000. I'll be honest with you. I love getting into my cars, quiet, turn the nice stereo on, and drive.
Oh man, when I push that button on my car, you hear that exhaust, that noise out the back end.
Yeah.
Everyone ducks. Like, well, what was that? And you know that's good.
Especially, I love our spaceship sound when we put it in reverse. That's the best part.
Oh, all right. It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Teslas are quiet. The ID.4 you can hear. Yeah. I mean, it's like a UFO, but it's not for everyone. I mean, let's face it.
I will go back. I love the thrill of actually just that straight line acceleration. Like when you get into one that has some good power. Like I went to test drive the Cadillac Lyriq, and it's
beautiful
the all-wheel drive version. It is
beautiful car,
and it'll put you back in your seat. I mean, it's fun in that aspect. But for me, that's where it dies off right after that, because there isn't any other engagement. They're just it then becomes transportation. And to me, I have a love for cars that is just more than an A to B transportation.
I guess it's different for me, and maybe Ray too. I was in the auto industry. I drove every car there was.
Yeah,
I'm over that. I mean. But I can tell you the Lyriqs in Florida are selling pretty damn good.
Yeah.
They have started to move.
Well, they finally have deals on them. Like they've got some now up here in Detroit. Everything up here is sold on employee price. So like most Lyriqs up here, they're $550 a month, something right around there for a 24-month lease. So they're actually not bad to get into, and that's like a $60,000 car at that lease point. So that's truly not a bad lease.
I mean, I can get GMS on a Lyriq right now. I mean, I have GMS employee. I have a number.
Yep.
So the problem's going to be from here on when these leases are up, the manufacturers are going to suck it. Let me tell you.
Oh, they are.
Because
our
buyouts on our ID.4s are $28,000. They're not going to go $28,000 in 2.5 years.
No, they're not.
So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because if they don't residualize the heck out of these cars now, they're not going to move.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've seen residuals that are way too high already, though. I'm like, lease
71
because in 3 years that car is not going to be worth that. It's
71% on an ID.4 now. 71%.
and,
Crazy.
Yeah.
Is it?
It'll be worth half of that.
71.
Yeah.
It'll be worth about
the
35%.
Mach-E's that I'm seeing
But
are still in the 60s, and I'm like, it's
Justice,
not going to be worth that
you-
in 3 years. Guarantee you.
Justice, you can get a 23 Mach-E GT Performance Pack, $78,000 for 46 grand right now.
Yeah.
In Florida. Phil, that car makes noise
That you don't want
inside. But
No.
it's just, it's going to be interesting in 2.5 years from now when all these come up on lease. What's going to happen?
Yeah, it is. It is.
The Blazer EV, the Blazer EV is a Lyric with a Chevy name on it. Those aren't selling either
They aren't.
because they want $800 lease a month for those cars. You cannot sell EVs at $800 a month. You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
It's difficult to sell an ICE vehicle at $800 a month, let alone an EV. The Lyric, just for they're at 66%.
Wow.
Which is too high. Which is too high.
Yeah,
Which is too high.
But money factor is at right around 6%, though. So that's still
That's not
pretty
bad.
high, right?
Yeah, that's
I
the
mean,
trade-off right there. Yeah.
Still not going to be worth anything in 3 years from now. I mean, let's face it.
No, absolutely not. It says it'll be worth 50 grand somewhere.
No.
So if you're
Yeah.
looking at a higher trim,
Residual.
right?
Yeah, residual.
Yep.
No, I don't see that. I see more in the 30,
Nope.
maybe 28.
Yep.
It's sad.
But Ray, I have some good news for you, Ray.
What's that?
I looked up AAA, and yes, the triptych does do EV.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that. I'll have to use that then.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you click through, and it'll actually give you. I like that it gives you what level?
Yeah.
Level 1, level 2. you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to, didn't know that.
So AAA triptychs does indeed give you the option for EVing.
I love the triptych. I mean, like Phil.
I've never used it before, but after
Oh my God.
you and Phil, I might start.
That was the.
If
That
you're
was
taking, if you're taking kids on a trip with you, and
Right.
they can look through the triptych and they can see it talks about different attractions in that area. I mean, it's just and it was an easy way to before there were Google
Easy
Maps.
way to plan your trip, right? Ray?
Yeah,
You didn't.
page 1 started you from home, and then you just kept, and it was in
Exactly.
perfect sequence.
You didn't have to open up this huge
Yeah.
map,
Right.
Inside your
Right.
car, be like, "Oh, I'm right there," and kind of, you just had this rectangle map, and
Yes, it was great.
yeah,
And the
It-
fact that it
yeah.
shows you what type of chargers
Yes.
are available and where.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Something I could
mean,
not
plug-
get with my Thomas guide that I used to use. That's what I always had.
I mean, PlugShare does the same thing. PlugShare,
Yeah.
they all do about the same thing. They all tell you if the EV's open, if it's being used, if it's up to date.
But I
if.
think
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but when I'm exploring this triptych's website, they give you far more than just the chargers. That is one thing they'll do, but they're going to give you all the little points of interest you can go to and
Yes.
help you plan out all the exciting stuff to see along the way and the route and stuff. And that's what I've never used it before, but that looks really cool.
It is.
I'll have to use it.
Because my Tesla
No.
won't do that, right? My Tesla will absolutely get me from point to point. I use a better route planner if I'm going on a longer trip because
Right.
Tesla doesn't let you set the minimum you'll arrive at, and it will allow you to arrive at 1%. So if you hit construction or traffic or don't
Right,
get
right.
your mileage, you can get screwed by Tesla on their
Oh,
so I use
I
a better
mean-
route planner because I can go. I don't want to arrive with less than 15%.
Right.
Get me there and then.
even though there's a buffer in there, you know that. There's still
I
a
know.
buffer.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
there is
not
a
saying
buffer.
do it. I'm not
No.
saying use it.
There is a buffer, but I started using a better route planner because I had an incident when my sister was out here, and the road got detoured, and the detour was nowhere near where the charger was. So, like, we weren't actually at an incident. Nothing happened. But in my mind, I thought if I had gone through with the Tesla planner, I would have run out of battery on that detour. I would have not had that range. I happened to have stopped before that point and charged up because I'm one, just like in my gas tank in my car. Like if I get to 20% on my battery, I'm like, nope, I gotta charge that. I gotta plug that in. Just like on my gas tank in my car, like a quarter is too low for me. So I gotta fill it back up, kind of guy. Had I not done that and I just went with the Tesla map, I 100% would have run out.
You know what's funny is
I wasn't okay with that.
I ran my or the ID.4 we took down to 10% before we left here, and I'll get all the alerts. I mean, 10%, you still have 80 miles.
Yeah.
And you're getting all the alerts. Oh my God, charge. Battery light comes on. 10% is still pretty, 70, 80 miles.
Yeah. Look, David, this is what I've said several times because you get these social media posts of, oh, my car ran out and what a useless EV. I'm like, well,
no excuse.
You would have run out of gas in your other car, guaranteed that, because you were just being completely irresponsible. Like you're one of the people who was walking along the highway with a gas can in your hand, right? Because you're completely irresponsible to have that happen.
You can't shut off that. I mean, it stays on there.
Yeah.
Your battery.
And there's lots of it. And to your point, there is, when I first got my first Model 3, I wasn't paying attention. So I almost had that situation. I left with 5% charge to go charge up my vehicle, but it was 31 degrees outside.
Ooh.
So half of the way there, I was at 0%. I still made it all the way there, but I was at 0% for half the way. And talk about anxiety. I was going
to say.
This is the first week I had it too. I'm like, am I one of those people now? Is that what I am? I'm going to ruin my car. I'm going to break my car in the first week. I mean, you can't really break it, but I mean,
it was funny. The second day I got the red ID.4, picked it up from the dealer. I said, they didn't fully charge it like they're supposed to. So I went over to EA in Fort Lauderdale, pull in, charge it to 80% because there's no reason to do 100% when you're local.
Yep.
Get in the car, dead, everything. After I just charged it, dead. The car only had 40 miles on it. I'm saying, are you freaking kidding me? At 8 o'clock at night. The dealer's not open. Saturday in Florida, they close at 7. I said, are you kidding me? Dead. I waited a half an hour. I called VW Roadside Assistance, got back in, pushed the damn button, and everything's fine.
Yeah,
it's like, and now the tow truck's showing up when I'm pulling out. So, and that's never happened again. So it's like weird. It's like
they obviously the dealer didn't do anything at all to it.
Did you hit Control Alt Delete?
Yeah. Only if they had that. But hey, I can't complain. Haven't had a chance.
So David Stewart wants to know: do you carry a portable jump charger?
No.
For the 12 volt, I don't either.
Well, I do have a little box. I do have a little box. But listen, as I say it again, if I have to do that, I'm not ready for an EV. As I say, if the car's going to break, if a gasoline car is going to break, it's going to happen. If you're going to carry around a charger with you, you're not ready for an EV. I'm just frankly honest.
Well, I mean,
you have to have some.
12 volts going to die the same in an EV that will in an ICE vehicle, and you're not going to drive the EV any more than you're going to drive the ICE vehicle with the 12 volt.
Correct. So, and let's face it, if you let your EV sit, at least in an ID.4, it will charge your 12 volt back up when it's sitting.
Yeah.
I don't know how Tesla does it. It will. I have a battery management in the app. It's on. If your 12 volt becomes certain low, it will draw from the main modules underneath. I'm sure Tesla's the same way.
I've never explored that, and I don't know that I have any screen that would tell me the state of charge of my 12 volt. That's interesting.
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
It just
All
generally
should do
makes
that.
sense,
Right. Yeah,
It-
I do carry jumper cables still, and people ask me, I'm like, well, I'm not jumping the regular battery, my car.
No,
battery,
12
right?
volt.
I'm
12 volt.
like, it's for the 12 volt. So, if there's issues with it, I'm not jumping my regular, full car battery. That's not what I'm doing.
David doesn't in an ICE vehicle, doesn't the alternator charge the 12 volt battery as you're driving? Isn't
Yes.
that what the alternator does?
Correct.
But you don't have that in an EV, correct?
We have an inverter. Inverter,
Okay.
I guess, does
The
the
same
same
thing.
thing.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay, so that's how they do it. I was
So-
just curious.
It makes sense at least in VW, Audi, Porsche, that if your 12 volt drops below 12 volts, it will pull from the main batteries. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
And now
Let's-
Tesla has the 48 volt in the Cybertruck, and probably more vehicles coming.
listen,
We'll see how
they
that
can
goes.
pay $290,000 for those trucks. In a year from now, they won't be worth 80. I can guarantee you that.
No,
It's just the
no,
facts.
I don't think. I hope that nobody who's paying over $200,000 for a
Yeah.
Cybertruck, which by the way maxes out
They
at
already
MSRP
People
at
already
109. But I hope those
and
people
Mika,
never expect that they're going to be
look
flipping
at-
it or getting
look at
money out.
look at Barrett Jackson, $295,000. They're crazy.
I know. Who? Why?
Yeah, I don't know why.
You just have stupid money that you
I
just
mean-
happen to have $250,000 just sitting around. I'm like, I'm gonna, what the hell? I'm just gonna throw it into a Cybertruck. I mean, what does it matter? You just.
I mean, Igor can tell us
Uh,
not because he's bought, but because he has sold people at that level.
Listen, you can buy 2 Model X Plaids and still have money in the bank. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
and-
people with money who want to be the first. I think that's all. And I guess if you can afford $300,000 on a car, you probably don't care.
Yeah.
You
You're
probably
Bear
rich
Jackson.
enough that you don't get. You're like, whatever, that's fine.
I mean, it's
That's
crazy.
more money than I'll ever have.
David, was that the first one off the line? I mean, what was the? I mean,
I think it was VIN number 5. And that was what is it called? The Super Beast or whatever? That was the
Cyber Beast.
3 motor. Yes, it was the 3 motor one. So maybe.
Was it? I didn't
No.
know they. I thought they still
Yes.
haven't made the Cyber Beast yet.
No, there's Kyle Connor. Look up Kyle out of spec. He just bought
Yeah, I
one.
know.
Yeah. Kyle's a friend of mine. His father is a friend of mine. He just got a Cyber Beast. By the way, has 15,000 miles already. He just
What?
got it a month ago. 15,000 miles.
Oh my God.
Well, he does range testing. Look him up on YouTube. Great, smart, great guy.
what's his name again, David? Kyle.
Kyle O'Connor, out of spec on YouTube. He's got like 8 channels.
Oh, well,
Yep.
we need to add some channels then. We've only got the
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Why don't we
We got
talk
channel
maintenance?
envy now.
Why don't we talk maintenance on EVs? Since people,
Yeah, we had Ray, you and Zach had Kyle on, right? On the main channel.
Did we?
Or was it Justin here? I know we've talked to Kyle before. It may
Yeah, I
have been
don't-
Justin here.
Yeah, I don't think Zach and I talked to him.
no, but smart guy. He
Yeah.
does range testing for
It's a
all
great
the
channel.
cars.
Out of spec is a
Yes.
great channel. I love that.
Great,
love that channel.
great. Let's talk maintenance. Let everyone says, well, there's maintenance. Yes, there's going to be tire maintenance. I can contest to that.
Yeah.
We're on our 3rd set of tires on our ID.4 with 22,000 miles on it.
Why is that?
The torque. There's so much torque in that single rear-wheel drive motor. That's where the instantaneous speed comes from.
Yeah.
And I'm not hard on
I'm
him, but my
first
husband
set of
is.
tires.
Wow. We went through 3 sets of rears, and we're just going to get a purchase two fronts soon. On his, 22,000 miles.
Wow, that's
Another
crazy.
reason why I won't get an EV.
There you
'Cause
go.
I will be hard on it, and I will be eating through tires.
It's not.
I
It's
mean-
not the weight. It's not the weight. It's the. It's
No,
the
I mean,
torque.
yes, the car weighs 5,300 pounds, but it's the
Weight
torque.
is a factor.
But-
I mean, yes, torque is the
Weight
main
is
factor,
not-
but weight is
Yeah.
also another factor.
Yes, it is a heavy car, but
It's not a
It's
heavy
the
car.
torque.
God damn it! It is not a heavy car.
How is it not a
We
heavy
go
car?
over this all the damn time. Every single
wait,
pickup truck
wait.
made in America is
heavy
much,
too.
much heavier
Yeah.
than any EV other than like the
Eh,
Hummer kind of stuff.
and also the regen. You know, when you're in regen, you're stop and go. That's friction on the ground. I mean, it's going to wear tires out.
Mhm.
Period.
But
And the heavier you are,
As-
the more friction, the more.
Of course.
Sorry, Justice.
And-
I'm
so first off, the regen saves my brakes a lot, so I don't.
It does.
like, I have
That's where I was getting
lifetime
to.
warranty on my brakes,
wait.
so I don't care about that.
I-
But again,
I was getting
I'm
to
at
that.
68,000 miles on my first set of tires.
Wow.
I will not be able to rotate them again.
Well,
Because I'm going to have to replace, well, at least two of them. I have rear wheel drive. So I'm going to have to
Well-
replace the two front ones. But,
maybe
but
that's it. Maybe that's in Tesla. See, ID.4s, they're 20-inch and they're offset. Can't rotate them. So that's
okay.
part of the problem.
I do rotate, but I also,
Yeah.
I don't launch my vehicle very much. That's a big one for me is when I first got it, when people are first in the car, you launch it. And then that's just not how I drive as a human being. I don't launch my vehicle. So I'm always, when I put my car into full self-driving, it launches way faster than I am comfortable in full self-driving. Like I don't pick up and go like that. I don't have the need
Right.
to do that.
Well,
So-
I mean,
So that helps my tires, I think, too.
I don't either, but why don't you tell my husband that?
No. Look, I see people at stop signs all the time in Teslas, and they do launch. They launch every single time. I'm like, why do you need to
I mean,
get up to
it
the
would
speed
just be
limit
fun.
before you're at the end of the intersection?
I mean, listen, 201 horsepower in 94 rear wheel drive. That's pretty damn fast. That's
Yeah.
in a gas car. It's over 300 horsepower. What is the reason to launch it? I mean, really? Am I missing something?
I'm telling you, they will get up to the speed limit by the end of the intersection. They'll go, and I'm like, well, why do you need to do that? What is the, like, what's the point of that? I don't understand. That's just not the
EVs
way
are
I
not-
drive, but I get
EVs
it's
aren't
fun.
that type of car.
I get that's fun because you can't do that
I
in
would do it.
an ICE vehicle. Yeah.
Listen, $322 for one tire. Are you kidding me?
What?
I mean,
Mine aren't
Expensive,
that
really.
much,
It would
but
get
I don't have
expensive
the
really
run
fast.
flat you do, David. I don't have run flat, so mine are a little bit cheaper than that. I mean, not a lot cheaper.
But
cheaper.
But what size are they? Are they 20s?
No, I have 19s.
See, we have 20s. 19s are a little cheaper.
I have 19 not run flat. They are EV tires, but I think I priced them out, and it was like $260.
And that's through Tire Rack, by the way.
What? I've got to ask a silly question. What the hell are EV tires? What does that
made
mean?
for torque, Ray?
They're
made for cars with
compound,
a lot of
right?
torque.
Right.
Yeah.
The compound is a little different than a regular rubber tire or a regular ice tire.
Is it like what Mini would consider or BMW would consider like a summer tire, where the summer tires are softer, so you go through them quicker, and that's why like EV tires are not quite as soft, so you shouldn't go through them as quickly. Is that like the difference?
I do think they're harder tires.
Okay.
That
Right.
wear out a little less because of the weight and
The
torque
torque.
on them. But yeah,
David, have you found while driving your vehicles with run flat tires? I mean, obviously I have run flats on my Mini because we can't,
Right.
Minis always come with run flats for the most part.
Well, there's nowhere to put a donut, right? There's nowhere to put a spare tire in that car.
You can, you actually can, but that's besides the point. Most people don't.
Right.
Have you found the ride to be a little rougher because of the run flats? That's one of the complaints you normally
Yeah,
hear about
right.
run flats.
The suspension in our cars are nice. The bump when you hit a hole, yes, is hard.
Gotcha.
You're gonna feel it. Run flats, the
Yeah.
sidewalls are very stiff.
Very
Yeah,
hard.
very stiff.
Right. Very. And for the reason, that's what the reason's for. So
And they're
$300.
noisy. By the
Correct.
way.
Well,
Wow.
with my windows up, Phil, 74 miles an hour, AC running, and the stereo blasting, I don't hear a thing.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, look, I mean, I've got run flats on my car too. I'm just saying, like, it's just.
Well, you have run flats on your wife's Clubman.
I was just thinking about that, Ray, because
You
I was
do.
You do.
I was wondering if we do have a spare in the back, and I
don't.
can't remember.
No,
Yeah,
I'll help
maybe
you.
not.
You don't.
you have a bottle. Yeah, listen, you got a bottle of goo in there. That's for sure. I can tell you that.
Yeah, she's the same exact car that Ray has.
She's got good taste.
Huh. You know, I was going to go the BMW route, but their prices are crazy. For an i4,
Oh, and
67 grand. No,
Well, it's a BMW. Come on, stop. Come on.
I mean,
their design language is leaving me with something to be desired for it.
See,
It's just not. It's getting
Right.
too edgy. It's getting too minimal on the inside.
right.
Not. It's. I don't know. I don't know where they're going, but I don't like it as much anymore.
Well, I mean, they're not going to the middle class people pocket. I can tell you that.
No, of course not.
Because-
But what I'm interested in, like their whole design language now, like
The-
would it
the big-
necessarily
the big
cater
grills.
to the
Yeah.
older, more affluent
Right, no.
type folks? Like their target. I don't understand what's happening.
I mean,
with
Mike,
BMW.
In fairness, the middle class is the smallest group in America now. So, why would you
well,
want
we
to?
know that. But I mean, take the M4, 85,000. My nephew has an M4. I would never spend $84,000 on a little small M4.
No.
But you can't get them. Go look for one.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I'm about to look for lunch personally.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
about Ray's
Yeah.
lunchtime.
I'm gonna do a Ray. Damn it, I'm hungry. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What are you having for lunch, Ray? I know we're gonna get.
I have some grilled chicken today that I'm going to have. So
Very good.
there
Very
you
good.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still
I'm
getting
trying
into
to
your
be
beach
good.
body shape.
What was that?
Still trying to get into your beach body shape.
Oh hell no.
Go on Monday. I'm not sure how much weight you can lose between now and Monday.
Right.
Yeah. So no, I'm done worrying about my beach body. It is it'll just be the beached whale body, and I am
Oh my God,
perfectly
come on.
fine with that.
Listen, Ray.
So Ray, then it's going to be grilled chicken and club soda. No, not club soda. Ginger ale.
No, I haven't had a ginger ale in 2 weeks.
No?
Yeah.
Saving
Verner's,
that for
only
Puerto
Verner's.
Rico?
Yeah.
Verner's ginger ale. Verner's only.
I'm a Seagram's guy. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It-
I guess I'm the Canada Dry guy. So.
It's you know what? It's a Detroit thing. Verner's is Detroit. I mean,
Yes,
It is.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ray, watch.
I'm having
What?
matzah. How about that?
I'm going to have matzah with my chicken. What watch am I wearing today?
Yep. Let's go there. What do you got?
This is the Spinnaker Dumas in regatta white,
I
automatic.
like the white. I like
Yeah,
the white base.
automatic, waterproof to 1,000 feet. Nice watch, a little heavy.
Yeah.
It was
It
cheap
looks
though.
it looks bulky, right?
Yeah,
It looks like a bulky.
I
watch.
got it on sale for $174 with the automatic.
Wow.
movement.
Wow.
I think it's really good looking, and this is probably the watch that I'll take to Puerto Rico. Because
Fantastic.
I'm going to go into 3 feet of water. I want to make sure it's good to 1,000 feet.
Hopefully, you're not going down to 1,000 feet.
You're not
Ray.
good for 1,000 feet, right?
Not unless the shark bites my arm off and he takes it to 1,000 feet. So yeah, I mean it's really a pretty lovely watch for $174. It's like you can't go wrong with that. So.
Yeah.
I'm not taking my Breitling in the water. I can tell you that. No
Why?
way.
It's meant to be able to go into the water.
I'm not taking my $30,000 Breitling in salt water.
It's meant to be able to go into the water.
It's saltwater though.
Can't do it.
Well, there's not a lot of 1,000 feet deep fresh water, Phil.
Well, yeah.
I mean, okay, you
Exactly.
live near some, but
Well,
most
wait.
people live near 1,000 feet deep
I-
fresh water.
If we went to Lake Tahoe, we could get well past 1,000 feet. Lake
Yeah.
Tahoe.
Yeah, you could.
There you go.
could.
See?
Yeah, isn't that like one of the world's deepest lakes?
Yeah, it's like number 6.
I don't know. It's like 7,800 feet deep or
Yeah,
something.
it's very deep. It's very cold.
Wow.
It's also
Yeah.
very, very cold.
Yeah. So,
But
I
Ray,
ain't going in there.
I want to say one thing. That is the only watch you owned that I know. All the
okay.
other watches I've never even heard of. But that watch, I'm like, oh, I know the Dumas. Okay, there's one I know. But the other ones you mentioned, I was like, I have to go Google. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
well,
I have so many watches that nobody heard of, and
except for Igor, who I think still has an offer to you to start a watch channel.
we should. Igor and I should do a watch show. I just I love watches. Unlike Igor, I love cheap watches. Igor
Well,
and David,
I
they
mean,
like those expensive.
I got a
watches.
collect. Yeah, I got a collection.
Yeah. But I don't know. I was looking at watches this morning. Who knows what one's next?
Ray, may I suggest when you go to Puerto Rico, go to the fort. Do the fort. Absolutely good. You'll see the fort in the back.
Okay. Yeah.
You got to go through that.
Okay.
And Phil, our watches, I have a lovely Apple Watch. First
Yes,
generation.
that is it right there.
There it is.
And you know what?
It can
I
go
got no
almost
watch.
a foot and a half.
This is the watch right here.
I don't want to look at my phone. I want to look at my wrist.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no,
God.
I get that, Ray. I get
Just
that.
the
Ray.
way I am. I'm old school.
Yeah.
I am. Old
All right.
school.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you, David.
Ray, you have a lovely lunch and also a very nice vacation.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you very
Yes,
much.
Ray.
You guys will have a
Very
great
much.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am
And-
sure. Keep an eye out because I am sure that my son will make me work when we're in Puerto Rico, and perhaps that way I can write the trip off as a business expense.
There you go.
There you go.
Couple live shows and you're
Yeah,
got a nice
That's it.
expense paid.
because
Phil,
after all,
thanks.
after all, it's Ray inclusive. So
Phil likes his watch to make noise.
Make noise.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God.
When he
Wow.
looks at the time, he wants to hear. "Rum, rum, 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 rum."
Oh my God.
Thanks for
Justice,
that, Stuart.
I'll let you know about the trip. Okay.
Yes, please do. Let me know, and then we'll meet up when you get here, and maybe we'll do some.
That
shooting.
shall be fun.
Okay, great.
All right. Nice
All
meeting
right.
you guys.
thank you
Nice.
guys.
Bye,
You too,
everybody.
All right. Thanks, Phil.
See you, everybody.
Bye.